Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Let me make sure everything is working here. Sorry, I'm a little late for the show. Okay, let me make sure this microphone is microphoning. All right, I see it, and I can see myself, and you can see it, and I can see you guys. All right, I can actually see you in your little homes. All right, with that said, yes, I know. Trade Genius Phil calls for the possibility of 38K. I don't see it. Anyway, with that said, let's look at what's going on. It is an interesting day in the market. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to refresh some windows here. Going to rock through this real quick, if at all possible, because we've all got things to do. And unless you're shorting, trading's probably not one of them right now. So let's just take a look at how things are going. I'm seeing this massive jump we just really recently had. Kind of funny how it started right at 1 o'clock or so. It's almost as if that was a choreographed moment, I would say, like most of these things are. So got things refreshing. Here we are. BitcoinDailyView.com. Got more for you there. I link to things that I like and such, affiliate links and indicators that I use. All right, so looking at the market today in squares, it sucks ass. Unless you were out, it kind of sucks. Alts sucking hard. Bitcoin not doing that well. Ethereum down 8.75%. Last, okay, this is daily. Let's forget that. Let's go to hourly because this is crypto. We don't care about daily. All right, daily. Okay, check hourly. Looking at this thing hourly. Definitely a red market in the last hour. Okay, there we go. Now in the last hour, it shows things are a mix of green and red. Okay, so we definitely dumped quickly and fast. All right, so let's see. In the last hour, we got green. What else is a kind of green? Rune is looking pretty darn sharp. Reality is weird. Okay, so performance last hour, I'm seeing a lot of green, but that isn't what I'm really seeing out there in the market. So going to disregard this for a moment, and we'll take a look at closer at other things, like let's check out Ruin. But regardless, BitcoinTradingView.com. Yeah, that's silly. BitcoinDailyView.com. Anyway, check out more there. 4.7 billion last 24 hours. So Bitcoin volume explicitly on the Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours is 4.7 billion. That's definitely been ramping up. You need more than 3 billion for a good day. So even though we just saw a dump, it seems like in this 24-hour volume just spiked up a little bit. I do believe I was looking at it earlier. So people are definitely this recent a little bit of a dump we've had, which is slowing down rather rapidly, is going right into the sweet ass buy zone of people. So I know people are calling for a bear market now, or extreme lows. Let's take a look a little bit closer. And there's so many ways to look at a chart. I'm just gonna look at it my way and just kind of tell you what I think. All right. Looking at so anyway, we have over 3 billion. We have like 4.7 billion. A lot of that's probably sells. I mean, stops that are getting hit. This is retail volume after all. And also it could very well be shorts that are hitting. A lot of things, but regardless, that's some nice volume. That's a little bit of a spike in volume recently with correlated with this dump. Binance spot trading across all pairs, 18.6 billion. That's nothing. We at least got 20 or 30 or 50 billion for a good day. We're not seeing much volume at all. That's actually extraordinarily low for a 24-hour volume, 18.6 billion, but up 53% last 24 hours. And you can see the 7-day chart. Boom, we're getting a little bit of movement there. So looking at derivatives, I like to see at least 75 billion, and we are seeing 67 billion, up 53% last 24 hours. So still low, but not that low. So anyway, volume, we've got some good, okay, mediocre, but okay on the better side of mediocre trading volume for Bitcoin. Explicitly on the big exchanges, spot trading on Binance for all the pairs, blah, it sucks, but it's up 53%. And then derivatives is almost good. All right, with that said, it's definitely rocking up. We're getting some trading volume spiking up in reaction to this dump. Looking at longs versus shorts sentiment on Binance for Bitcoin, 70% long, 29% short. Definitely a long after this dump. Doesn't surprise me. A long bias there. For Ethereum, 70% short, long, 29% short. Definitely on Binance for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have a long bias. Now, here's the big deal. Okay, this is the big deal. This is really what, in my opinion, what it comes down to. I know there are just many ways to look at this. And I know everybody's putting their opinion out there, so this is just mine for what it is worth. But daily chart above the white moving average there, which is the 200, good. Below it, bad. 50 moving average, the green one right here. Above it, very good. Below it, not quite so bad. So here's what's happening today. We are truly, as you can see right there, we are challenging that 200 moving average. It's all about, are we going to close above it or below it? If we close below it, you can get in situations where you ride it like this. That can happen. But also you can get situations where you do get below it for a little. I'm sorry about that. You do get situations where you can get below it for a little while. That happens, But in general, this is not a good sign. I don't like it. One thing I wanted to note here, every dang time the MACD on this daily chart begins to just about turn positive, what happens? Bam! Bitcoin gets hammered. That's deliberate, you whale bastards. So anyway, Bitcoin's been on this sort of glorious downtrend, and now it's all about, are we going to just pretty much, are we screwed? Is this going to be is this bear time? Or is this going to be a righteous bounce? It's kind of one or the other. We definitely have given a lot back. If I was to do a fib retracement here, where do we do it from? Let's do it from, I guess I'm going to do it from here. Do it from here first on the daily, a fib retracement. And definitely we are below, I should try a fib retracement from here. I won't make this take too long. I like that a little better. So if we look at this fib retracement, we're hanging right here at the 786 line, which is right below the 200 moving average. If you notice, we actually sort of, let's look at this a little bit bigger. This is pretty badass. Okay. And always feel free to be a little bit creative with fibs. I mean, don't make shit up, of course, but at the same time, realize that you got to sometimes work fibs a couple of different ways, overlap them sometimes, and see how they fit. It's about getting it to fit. And not necessarily like what you want it to say, but fit what has been. So that gives the future validity. And if you look, you can see when we fib like this, we definitely have, hung out and respected, some of these fib levels quite well. And especially the 618 pocket right here has been a really powerful one. And now we're getting below the 200 moving average today, which is not so great on the daily. That kind of sucks ass. We wicked to the 786. It's all about today. Are we going to close above or below that 200 moving average? Are we going to actually see it go all the way down to have a 786 bounce? If we did have a 786 bounce, I would not like. Well, we already had technically a 786 bounce. If you look at the wick, okay, that's happened. So got a 786 bounce with a wick. Can we close the body of this candle above that 200 moving average? That really is giving a lot back on the daily chart. And in a way, that's kind of positive because you've really exhausted that retrace at that point. So today, it's all about what's going to happen, what's going to happen. I don't think anybody knows. Believe me, I look at, shit tons of of YouTube's and other people's charts, and I belong to different, trading groups and such. So believe me, I mean, I've been all day kind of last couple of days, just had data being poured on, and I like that. It works for me. I like knowing as much as I possibly can. But here's the deal. Looking at the daily chart, as you can see, we went up here. We're going to do that. Are we going to do that 200 moving average bounce? I think we might be going to do that 200 moving average bounce on the 2 hour on the daily chart. Not bad. Looking at all these cool indicators, basically. Definitely have flip red for the super guppy indicators or the Madrid ribbons, as they say, all these EMAs. But if we do look at the directional index, it is slowly trending towards positive. I like seeing that. That's kind of a good thing. Squeeze indicator, if we do look over time, this is daily, it has been moving towards the positive. That's kind of grooving. I like seeing that. Stochastic RSI on the daily, it's out of the oversold area. It's rocketing up here in the sweet zone. So RSI is looking good on the daily. On the daily, bam! I'll tell you what. One of the most grumpy indicators. It's like a drill sergeant. It is a hard but fair. It's a Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. I am hard, but I am fair. You will not like me, but the more that you hate me, the more you will learn. You know, if you watch Full Metal Jacket, it is a grumpy ass indicator that it destroys delusion. You know, it hates untruth. Even though sometimes we would prefer untruth, but when it gets bottomed out like this on the daily chart, and look at that bottom out. Oh, look at that sweet bottom out. Damn, that's a fine bottom right there. So with that said, really, we could, if you look back here when we bottomed out, boom, rocket ship to Pluto. We did quite well. We are bottomed out once again, and bottomed out honestly, kind of even harder. So looking at this, I mean, this bottom here, this bottom out and turn up was glorious. Look at this one. We are down here in the, you have sold it all. You got to stop, you know? So the least delusional, most accurate, hard but fair Gunnery Sergeant of a indicator definitely is showing it might be time to pop up. I still think we look way better than over the summer. Yeah. So anyway, I'm kind of zoomed out a little bit. Let's look at this on 45 minutes. Actually, first, let's look at 4 hours. 4 hour, what I don't like, but I do like kind of, we've been giving a lot back. Look at this 4 hour chart. This is, you know, this is glorious downtrend. We've given a lot back. What more do you want from us? You know, I mean, how much more we got to give back? Now, if I was to do a Fibonacci retrace here, let's go here to here. See how that fits? You know, I had a lot of hope in this 618 sweet pocket, but look at that. Here on the 4 hour chart, of course, we're well below the 200 moving average. So it's kind of out of the consideration right now because it's way up there. A long way to get back to it. But that 786 bounce, I mean, that is a lot to give back. We're at the bottom of the RSI cave. We even wick below it. I mean, this could be, you know, this is make or break. This is either going to be badass and we're going to see an explosion off this bottom, or we're not. And you know what? Like, nobody knows. You know, we'll see what happens. Honestly, we'll see what happens. I can't predict. You know, rid of all the indicators there. Here on the 45-minute chart for immediate price action, I will say this is the kind of trade that I like. Like, forget it's Bitcoin for a second. You've been riding down, but not too far from that 200 moving average, the white one on the 45-minute chart. You've been riding down for quite a while. You know, we're you know, kind of looking back since like 10th of November, beginning of November. We've been riding down. This is definitely a spot where you kind of want to watch for. These indicators are, well, the electronicity by Lazyberg shows we're definitely oversold. Not surprising. Probably a lot of stops getting hit and such. KRI indicator definitely shows we're in the red, but let's see. Not too much hope there. How about, yeah. Anyway, so we're definitely, you know, on the way down here. But, you know, we are seeing some nice Bitcoin trading volume. I like seeing that. We're below the 200 moving average. I would just say, you know, watch for an aggressive move. If we can get an aggressive move from Bitcoin right now, and that could happen, you know, above the 200 moving average about that fast is how it could happen. You know, all we need is about 6% in 12 hours or 6% in 6 hours. And bam, we could be back in the, we could be back on the positive side of things. I was thinking that's what was going to happen here. A lot of good indicators. Things were looking good, but it didn't quite hold it. So anyway, guys, we'll see what happens, you know. Ain't nobody knows. Looking at Ethereum versus USDT here on the 45-minute chart, it looks a lot like Bitcoin. It's finding a spot to bounce, kind of like Bitcoin is. Let's look at Ethereum versus BTC. It could be a sweet trade, quite possibly, if it recovers quickly or quicker. Still too soon to tell. Not a trade I'd really want to get into. So let that one go. Looking at SHIB versus USDT. I mean, it's kind of doing what Bitcoin's doing. It had this burst here. I was following Bitcoin. I thought, yes, glorious. Did not hold it, kind of like Bitcoin. It is definitely finding, its indicators look good. It's definitely finding some, it's definitely dumped into some buy orders if you look at that. So this is kind of a positive thing. So SHIB the bottom of its RSI cave. It's kind of finding a little bit of a bounce spot. Directional index is beginning, it's in the red, but it's beginning to trend towards green. ADX is going in the right direction. Squeeze indicator. Well, we'll see what happens. It's starting to close up a little bit towards the positive side. Oh, the stochastic RSI shows you sold enough. That tangent's turning up sharply. So also wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear shows, yeah, it's go time. This is worth looking at on the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, definitely been going down for a while. We are well below the 200 moving average, but really not too darn far. Looking at the indicators, stochastic RSI does begin to show us that it might be, watch for this tangent to turn up on the 4-hour chart. SHIB might be getting ready to try to recover. We shall see. All right, now let's just take a quick look here. Is anything else kind of popping off? Anything dark green out there? Anything dark green? Refresh this here on the daily. Maybe we can just wrap this up and get out of here. Pretty much we got some serious dump action going on. This looks more valid. 1-hour chart here. Sometimes Coin360 can get a little bit funny. Let's try this one more time. It didn't look right that first time. Okay, what do we see here? Hex, Rev, Sell. Let's check out Solana USDT, how it's reacting to this. Oh, same thing a lot of things are doing. Dump, it's finding some support. How about Ruin USDT? How's that doing? It's kind of an interesting one. Ruin finding a bounce spot. So a lot of alts, kind of like Bitcoin, are finding a bounce spot. If I had something in the red right now, maybe I'd be adding to it. If I was, really, like if I had a bag that was red, this might not be the worst time to add to it if you're not financial advice, entertainment purposes only. But if I had a bag that I couldn't get rid of and I needed some percent, to get it back in the green, might be a sweet time for some alts to do that. One more look over here. Anything look good? I'm not seeing anything that's too exciting. All right. Well, maybe we'll just wrap it up. Anything I can think of to look at that might be interesting, like Doge. No one cares about Doge anymore. But anyway, Doge, it's doing like everything's doing. Everything took a jump with Bitcoin, and it's beginning to find some support. If Bitcoin finds support and holds it, so will some of these alts that we're looking at. So Bitcoin on the 45-minute chart, home market went to shit, and because Bitcoin dumped kind of hard. And let's just see what happens. For real, this is really a make or break time. If you ask me, looking at the daily chart, we got to figure out what's going to happen. I think today, the next 24 hours is going to be extraordinarily interesting because, here we are. This is it. You can kind of look back here and you can see, when we get 200 moving average crosses, especially here on the daily, I think they're very powerful. Bam, bam. Well, bam, kind of, and here, bam. You tend to get some nice moves. So really, this definitely could be make or break time. I tell you, for me personally, if we can't hold this 200 moving average and we dump below it, I'm going to be honest with you. Before I came on here, when I saw us flirting with it a little bit too much, I sold some bags that I had. I sold some Bitcoin and some Ethereum. I'm not kidding you. I did. Not a lot. I hedged out a bit. I just went cash enough for a couple months of expenses, just in case we go potty, because this is a make or break moment, in my opinion. Also, one thing people look at quite, now I won't look at any other indicators. Screw it. Maybe I will. One sec. Let me see. Do I have, do I still got that one? For the weekly, 21 EMA. And how do I have that figured? 21 EMA. Okay, so many do believe that the weekly chart, that the 21 EMA, gosh dang it, stop that. Boom, there we go. Many do believe in the lore of Bitcoin that the 21 EMA, which is what this is, on the weekly chart is a really big deal. And as you can see, we have definitely broken below it. So that's not too wonderful. Weekly MACD is negative. And see, if you have a weekly MACD, which is negative, that's going to put pressure on the daily MACD, and then, so basically if we, let's actually change this for fun to a daily chart and see what that 21 EMA looks like on the daily just for fun. See what that actually brings forth. Yeah, we're under the 21 EMA on the daily too. 21 EMA, interesting moving average. When you're above it, you really are doing well. And when you do get below it, you're not doing well, you know? And as you can see, like back here, 21 EMA on the daily, you know, that shit sucked. That was not fun at all, unless you were shorting, you know? And, you know, we've been above it. That's nice. We just went below it. It's all about how long we're going to stay below it. So anyway, 21 EMA, definitely one to watch on the weekly. But for real, you know, the daily chart here, where boom. Yeah. 50 moving average, I think, too, is definitely a really important moving average, too. And when you're above it, you're good to go. When you're below it, you're not so good to go on the daily. I find that to be a really nice one. And as you can see, we got below it and things haven't been too great. But MACD is about to turn positive. Damn it, again. And again, we got screwed over. So here's the deal. It's all about today. Are we going to make the 200 moving average bounce on the daily chart? Or are we going to get just friggin' straight up ass hammered? We're going to find out. I hedged out a bit. I might lose money if it pumps, but I don't really see it that way. I just wanted to make sure that I was good. I've ridden this. I've hedged out a bit just because this is make or break time. I was in the green. It's cool. I kind of had a calculated plan to get out if we broke below this 200 moving average. Been kind of getting a little bit nervous. So anyway, tell me what you think. You know, I think if we can make this is going to be the bounce moment, in my opinion, where we start moving towards the highs that people have predicted, like Plan B, etc., for December, maybe even rolling into January. We'll see how far that goes. That blow off top, it's either going to start now, I think, to be honest with you, or it ain't going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, that's definitely, if we don't find some nice gains that people have kind of expected, or at least start ranging sideways. Remember a couple of weeks ago or months ago, we ranged sideways for like 2 months. Wells were accumulating like crazy. We need at least to get into some sideways accumulation, which helps, trade alts very, very well, or something. Anyway, we're in no man's land. It's Monday. This is not a great way to start the week. Thankfully, I hope you're all just happy people and you don't care. Go do something that you enjoy today. Experience life. Do what makes you happy. And remember, every Bitcoin Satoshi you own makes a piece of shit globalist cry, but don't be a zealot. I actually did sell a few Satoshis of Ethereum and Bitcoin this morning, just in case we go hardcore bear market. I don't want to be like, living on baked potatoes for a couple weeks or months or years or God knows what. Interesting time. The Fed's been going crazy talking about interest rates. Are they going to start tapering or what? A lot of data out there. We have global uncertainty. I mean, we got the Corona scam again. The globalists trying to push that crap. We've got Russia and the Ukraine. We've got Belarus refugees heading into Poland through there. It's a crazy time, but at least, well, there you go. What can I say? Take care, everybody. I'll see you later.